What up, what up? Say Stowe G, back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is gonna be broke people are toxic. So we can talk about it. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers that have subscribed to my channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the videos out to give you leverage to better sales. Let's get into it. So why do I say that broke people are toxic? So I made a video about this before. I want to say a little bit over a year ago. Not exactly sure what I named it, but it was similar to this type of topic, and I got a lot of backlash from that video, man. I really did, because I think some folks really in their feelings about how I was talking about broke people, right? And I mean, it's my perspective, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own opinion about certain things, and you know, if you don't agree with what I think or what my assessment is about it, then I mean, so be it, you know? It's a free country, man, you know what I'm saying? We can have our own opinions about certain things. But the reason why I say this is because the energy that broke people have and what broke people will put upon somebody else and society as a whole, it's just not a good look at all. It really is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that a person that's broke should be extremely happy and just be like, you know, all gleeful and just, you know, just running around with a big smile on their face. I'm not saying that at all, because I mean, because I've been broke before. And yeah, it wasn't a happy feeling. It wasn't a good feeling. So I totally get that. But you have some folks or whatever that literally embody brokenness. It's an endless cycle. They don't know how to break out of it. And it seems like the energy that they have will be so toxic around other folks that it's basically they're throwing their brokenness on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a good look, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the saying where the folks be saying where they say you are who you around. I know that the saying is similar to that. I'm not sure if it's that in particular, but that saying is a true statement, man. It really is. When you see broke people, a lot of times you'll see other broke people around them, or they will gravitate to other broke folks because misery loves company. So if I'm a broke person and I'm talking about broke all the time, I'm hollering broke, and I'm complaining all the time, what kind of folks you think is going to be around that person or me if I'm doing the same thing? It's gonna be the same scenario. I'm gonna have a lot of broke folks around me, and we're all gonna be broke together. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, you know, we all gonna be just some folks are just gonna be just talking crazy. All of us broke. All of us don't got no money. All of us don't got no drive, right? Because you know, being broke, it goes beyond a monetary thing. You got folks that are mentally broke too, right? Folks that just can't break out of that mental cycle of brokenness. And I don't want to. I don't know, man. I do have some broke folks around me, not really around me, but I mean, but like I have some folks that, you know, in my family that are considered broke, right? I have some friends that, you know, not doing too well financially. So I'm not gonna really say they broke, but I mean, but you know, they're definitely not in a good position right now. And I even have some folks at my job that probably are considered, you know, broke because they're kind of struggling from, you know, having a job now, but didn't have a job for months on end, right? But I don't let that particular energy get to me, right? Because I don't hang around brokenness. At least I try not to, right? I don't intentionally, like, you know, put myself around broke folks. And respectfully, I'm not saying this to say that, you know, that y'all folks are bad, because like I said, I've been broke before myself. But I don't want to be, you know, hollering broke and feeling the energy around me, because I want to have positive energy. I want to have folks around me that, you know, are getting to the bag. I want folks around me that, you know, that are not broke mentally and financially. Because as long as I hang around them folks, then I have a chance of, you know, of staying in a certain space. And I'm just saying, man, broke folks are toxic, man. Y'all toxic. I was toxic at one point, you know what I'm saying, when I was broke. And I'm not saying this was to say that I was a person that complained about being broke. I didn't. I don't, at least I don't recall. I don't recall ever, like, going around folks or being on the phone or being on the internet or, social media or whatever, and just hollering, oh my God, I'm so broke. I don't know what to do. I don't recall ever doing something like that because I'm not a complainer. It doesn't matter what I've gone through in life. I have not been a person that complains about certain things. But what I will say is that I'd be crazy to think that when I was extremely broke, that I didn't have this energy that was around me that was affecting other folks, right? Because, at one point, man, when I was broke, I felt like I had no hope of getting out of that situation. I mean, I was in extreme debt. Um, my phone was always being hit up by unknown numbers, you know what I'm saying? I never answered the phone. I was avoiding responsibility, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, I mean, it was a crazy situation, you know what I'm saying? I'll be the first one to admit that. I'm not ashamed to say that I was dodging creditors because at the time I just didn't have the money, and I wasn't responsible enough at the time to answer these phone calls, and for me to tell these folks, hey, I don't have the money, and we need to work something out here. Because I think what broke folks don't understand is that even though you might be in a situation to where you want to avoid, talking about money, and you want to avoid the responsibility of actually dealing with your finances because you're broke and you feel like you can't get out of it, the creditors, they will work with you. They will work with you. They're not the police. You know what I'm saying? Like if you answer the phone for these creditors, as long as you are honest with what you got going on, and you explain to them, what you have and what you can give them, they will work with you. Man, when I was extremely broke back in 2008, and I was trying to, like, to deal with it because I had to, because I was in uniform at the time. And when you're in uniform, you got a certain job and a certain position. You can't be having like extreme debt and have a whole bunch of defaulted loans and stuff like that. You can't do that, man. You mess around and get put out. So at the time, my hand was forced to deal with my brokenness. I was forced to deal with these folks, and some of the creditors, man, I was literally paying them $1. One credit, I think they wanted me to give them at least $50 a month, and I was like, yeah, I don't got that. You know what I'm saying? So, I literally told them, like, the only thing I can give you literally is $1, and I was truthful about that because at the time that really what it was. I could literally only give them $1. I had so much debt, and I had so many folks that I owed at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, that's all I could afford because I could barely afford food. I could barely afford gas to even get to work because I lived like 25 minutes from base. That was just a bad time, man. I've said this before on this channel, man. 2008 was absolutely horrible. It was, man. 2008 to 2011 was the worst years of my life. It really was. And I was the brokest in my life during that time. And like I said, I'll be the first one to say it. I was avoiding responsibility. I didn't want to deal with money. I had this bad energy. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was in uniform and I was, doing what I needed to do to make sure that I stayed in the military. You know what I'm saying, man? I was in a really, really bad state, man. I was, 2008, I had just turned 30. You know what I'm saying? So I was just getting out of my 20s. Might have been a Dante London situation. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, it was a bad time, man. And I'll be the first one to admit that I was toxic. I was. And I just had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Being in uniform forced me to deal with it. Had I not been in uniform, man, I don't know what I would have done, honestly. But, thank goodness I was able to break out of that cycle. And it taught me a lot of things when I was going through that situation. You know what I'm saying? I understood later on in life, you know what I'm saying, how toxic I was, how bad I was with money, and I just dealt with it. And I think a lot of folks that are severely broke, they don't want to deal with their finances. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you know what? Hey, I put myself in a situation, and it's so bad right now. I see no way out, so I'm just gonna sit here and complain. Complaining does nothing for you, man. It does. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? What it does is, it perpetuates the BS that you're on right now. Because at the end of the day, you're grown. Whether you're a man or a woman, you know what I'm saying? You're grown. You're broke. You're in severe debt. Deal with it. Stop avoiding your responsibility to these creditors. Stop avoiding paying rent. All these other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta deal with it. That's all about being an adult. That's all about being grown. You know, um, I mean, it's a nerve when I said that, but I mean, but it's true. You got to deal with your BS, and you're on BS right now because 9 times out of 10, it's probably your fault that you're broke right now, and it's unfair to yourself. It's unfair to your family that you are being so toxic that you're affecting folks around you. It's not fair, man. It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? So I know for myself, I don't intentionally hang around broke people. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do know folks that are broke, and I have loved ones that I have. I have loved ones right now that are broke. So when I'm around them, it's not me necessarily hanging around them. It's like me, like they're seeing how they're doing. It's having a conversation, all these other things, right? But for me to sit around and actually hang with them, and to be in their presence when it comes to them actually arguing, not arguing, but talking about their brokenness and complaining. Yeah, I don't want to hear that, man. I want to hear about solutions. I don't want to hear about you being broke. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear about what you're doing to get yourself out of brokenness. Because what's the point of complaining? You're not doing anything that, other than, like I said, perpetuating your BS. That's all you're doing. So, yeah, man, that's my interpretation of the situation. That's the reason why I say that broke people are toxic. And like I said, I don't want to be around broke people, man. I want to be around folks that got money. I want to be around folks that are getting the bag. And if I am around broke people right now and they're toxic, yeah, I'm gonna tell them. Regardless what their feelings are, you know what I'm saying? Because I wish somebody would have came to me and told me that I was toxic when I was broke. You know what I'm saying? I wish somebody would have came to me and told me that I was on BS and I didn't need to deal with my situation. You know what I'm saying? But I dealt with it like a man, and I got through it. And you'll get through your brokenness as well. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got intestinal fortitude and you got a sound mind and you're able to push through your BS. All right? So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I catch y'all in the video. Say so, G. Signing out. I'm gone.